Sup folders. So in today's video, we're going to be covering something new. The new Marvel show featuring Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson. Loki! Alright, before we get into this video, make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy. Also, this is another day, so that first clip is a different day. So today, I'm not sick, but allergies and stuff like that. So if I sound weird or I keep sneezing, that's why. I'm going to try to get through this pretty quick so you can start watching Loki or the stuff you have to watch before Loki to truly understand it. But before that, I will tell you what to watch, and I'll basically give you a summary of what you should watch and what you should know about Loki. Alright, to truly understand Loki's character, you gotta watch all the movies that he's been in, everything he's been in. So basically, you start off with Thor, and then you go to Avengers, you go to Thor, the Dark World, then you go Ragnarok, then you go Infinity War, and then you go Endgame. Some of them lead into each other, and Loki's just such a folding, confusing character, because he's a villain, but he's good, but he's, like, kind of anti-hero, but not, and I'll kind of explain when and where that happens. Alright, before we get started with this, I'm going to be standing up, I'm just letting you know, and also this is spoilers for all those movies I mentioned. I'm going to try to summarize them all pretty quick. I don't know how quick I'm going to be able to do them, but I'm going to jump right into this. If you haven't watched any of these and you want to go watch them, please watch them right now. Don't fold and stay on this video. Go watch them. Go watch all those, and then come back here, and then you can watch Loki after you watch this video. I'm just giving you a heads up, and let's see what folding happens, alright? Let's jump into it. First, we're going to start off with Thor. Basically, it starts with Thor going to be king, but before he can get crowned king, the frost giants show up, and they go to get the casket of ancient winters, something along those lines. I don't know what it's folding called. You'll see it on the screen. So they go to get that, and so Thor's mad as folds. So he goes to Jotunheim, where all the frost giants are, and he goes to go fight Laufey, which is the king of Jotunheim and all the frost giants and all that. So he goes to fight him with Loki and his friends, and Odin is not happy about that. So he goes and he tries to be like, yo, don't hurt us. And then Laufey's like, nah, fold you, kid. And then, so Odin takes all them back, and Odin's folding mad. So, he gets really mad at Thor for taking all Loki and his friends to go fight the folding frost giants just because they ruined his folding ceremony or whatever. He throws folding Thor to earth, and yeah, and he cannot get back. So then Loki causes this thing called the Odin sleep, because he finds out that he's Laufey's son, which is the frost giants king or whatever. So Odin picked him up as a baby because he was abandoned by his dad, which is kind of folds up, so he's already folds. Poor Loki. And then Odin really liked Thor more than Loki, just because he was his real son, and so Loki felt like he really wasn't appreciated. So then this Odin sleep, it could last hours, days, months, years. I don't really know the exact how they said it, but he's gonna be in it for a while. So Loki has a plan to get all the frost giants into Asgard so that he can overrule everything. But the problem with that is he lets all of them in, and then Laufey, his real dad, goes to kill Odin, but Loki saves him. What are you doing? What? I don't get it. I don't understand. He had a change of heart or something, or I don't fucking know. But back at Earth with Thor, Thor finds some people. He finds this girl, Jane, he really fucking likes. And he's trying to get his hammer back, because his hammer he can't fucking wield because Odin put a spell on it where whoever lifts it is worthy to lift it, and no one else can lift it. Before Laufey goes to attack Odin, Loki sends the Destroyer, which is a thing that is made to destroy things. So Loki commands it to go attack Thor. Thor dies, and then in that sacrifice that Thor made, to protect all his friends and now Jane, he's now worthy, and his hammer Mjolnir, aka Jonathan.
Jonathan?
Goes to him and he gets it, and he fights off the destroyer. He goes back to Asgard, promises Jane that he'll be back. He does eventually get back, but not right away, because the Rainbow Folding Road or whatever it's Folding called, in Asgard to get to Heimdall, who can open up all the realms. There's 9 realms, by the way. I'm just saying that. Before that can happen, Thor stops Loki, and the bridge Folding breaks. So Odin is holding on to Thor, and Thor is holding on to Loki with this. I don't know if it's his. I don't know what it is, but it's a stick or whatever. So Loki's holding on to it, and there's this black hole thing at the bottom, and Loki lets go for some reason. My guess is to be a villain because he's also mad again for some reason. So we all think he Fulton dies, but he doesn't because he's back in Avengers. Alright, next up we have Avengers, and basically in Avengers, we start off with Loki. He is mind-controlling Eric Selvig, which was a scientist that was working with Jane Foster in the first Thor movie, which was Thor's basically girlfriend, whatever. So they're looking at the Tesseract, which is basically the Space Stone, an Infinity Stone. Also an Infinity Stone is the scepter that Loki is using to mind control everyone. He first has Eric Selvig, and then he gets Hawkeye. So Hawkeye's under a spell or whatever. They get him back later in the movie. But Loki tries to get everyone to kneel to him because he wants to rule everything or whatever. That doesn't work. The Avengers capture Loki. And yeah, so they get him, and you think, oh, it's good. We're all done with everything's fine. But then Thor shows up, and he goes and gets Loki. But Loki's now out of his hands because Iron Man attacked him. Good job. Really smart. They can really work as a team. Nice. But then later on in the movie, Loki supplied an army from Thanos. They're called the Chitauri. I think they're called Chitauri or Katari. I think it's Chitauri. But I don't know how to pronounce things. But at the end of the movie, Loki's defeated, and he's brought back to Asgard, and he's held in a prison, which leads us into Thor: The Dark World. So just a heads up before we head into this, Loki is in jail because what he did in Avengers. Just a heads up. So we start off with Thor's great-grandfather. He fought the Dark Elves, and they had this thing called the Ether, I believe, or Aether. No, I think it's Ether. So basically, he gets that, which is also the aka the Reality Stone. So Thor's great-grandfather brings that back to Asgard and is kept in this like vault or at the bottom of Asgard or whatever. But during this movie, we go back to present time, and Jane Foster, we meet up back with her when her crew. So there's this weird thing where all the either all the realms or all the planets are lining up. I think it's all the realms are lining up, but I don't really know. I totally forget. I forget saying it. So weird things are happening with physics, gravity, and all that. So there's this portal, and it leads Jane, and it takes Jane to Asgard, where the Ether is. And so she goes over to the Ether, and it goes into her. Yeah, kind of weird. So Jane gets back to Earth, and Thor's really thinking about her and missing her because he isn't allowed to go back to see her. So he asks Heimdall to see what Jane's up to and what she's doing, but he can't see her. So Thor goes down there and goes to see what's wrong. Gets Jane, brings her back because she's really sick, and she like launched an energy blast. So he was like, "Oh, fault." So he brings her back to Asgard. So when she comes back to Asgard, another place, we look and Malekith is alive, and he was just sleeping all that time to wait for someone to take the Ether out of Asgard. So now he's going to find the Ether, and it's in Jane, so he's going to kill her. But before that, Malekith runs into Frigga, and he kills her because she won't tell him where the Ether is. And then he gets launched off. Then he runs away like a little wussy. He comes back, don't worry. Annoying. So then Thor goes with Loki against Odin's word. He does this a lot. I don't know why. Thor's plan is to get the Ether out of Jane, and when Malekith is going to get it into him because he can actually like handle the power, he was gonna destroy it. But you know that doesn't work out. By the way, he gets Loki out of prison just because he wants revenge against Malekith for killing his mom. He was very upset because he knew that she was the only one that kind of understood Loki. Everyone else was like, oh, he's god of mischief, all that, and yeah. So basically, Loki literally backstabs Thor in the back, but he doesn't actually. It's all a ruse. So he tries to fight Malekith, but it doesn't really work. So after that, Malekith sends his like big bodyguard to go kill them, and he ends up actually killing Loki. Well, I guess we know that's not full true. So Loki full somehow lives that again. He doesn't full die. I don't get it. He can't stay dead. But at the end of there, Malekith is defeated by Thor, and that is basically the end of the movie. And Thor has some nice words with his father Odin, and we all know it's not full Odin. It's full Loki. You serious? So he has these nice words with Odin, his folding dad, but no, it's Fulton, his brother, who turned on him again. So now he's disguising himself as Odin so he can rule Asgard like he always wanted to. There you go, Loki. There you Fulton go. But then we explore more, and we go back to Loki in Thor Ragnarok. Alright, now we land in Thor Ragnarok, where we start off with Thor getting imprisoned by this guy called the Searcher, which is like a fire guy, and he's got this like helmet thing or whatever, and if he puts it into this fire, the eternal fire or whatever, it will cause this thing called the Ragnarok, which is basically the downfall of Asgard. So then after that happens, Heimdall gets Thor up and he brings him to Asgard after he defeats Surtur, but not fully, and he just takes the helmet thing or whatever. He runs back to Asgard, finding that Odin is not actually Odin, it's Loki. We know that from Thor the Dark World. He's been ruling this whole time. Good job, Loki. So Thor was like, yo, let's go find Odin. Loki's like, alright, I guess. So Loki goes to the spot where he dropped off Odin. Of course, he's not Fulton there. Doctor Strange, helps Loki and Thor find Odin. They find him in Norway, and he's at this rock place, which ends up being New Asgard. I'll explain that in a minute. Now, Master Fulton Oogway gets Fulton, it dies, and you're like probably like, what just happened? Odin basically like wisp away, like orange, like whatever, wiggly woos or whatever, and he like goes off into the distance like Master Oogway with the Fulton tree. But before he dies, he tells Loki and Thor about their crazy sister that he used to fight alongside with, and he stopped fighting with her because he thought that she was getting too ambitious and she wanted to like kill everyone or whatever. Her name is Hela, the goddess of death. Nice. So then she shows up and's like, yo, what's up, little bros? And Thor's like, I'm mad. So he throws Mjolnir, and she's like, you know what? Boom. She catches it, and then she breaks it. What? So, at this point, they're like, oh, Folds, get me the Fold out of here. Heimdall tries to bring them up through the Bifrost, and so does Hela, or Hela comes too, and she hits them out of the Bifrost, and they land on this planet called Sakaar. But Loki goes out first, so he lands first, and time is different there, so he's already friends with this guy called the Grand Master, which is also the guy from Jurassic Park. Cool. And Jurassic World? No, just Jurassic Park. Just Jurassic Park. The first and second one, I believe. I don't know why I'm talking about this. I'm just gonna keep going. I can't think of his name, and I feel bad, because he's a cool actor, and I like him. But that's besides the point. They go there. He has this like grand champion, and it's actually the Hulk that hasn't been. That's where he was for the past 2 years, since Sokovia. So Thor has to fight Hulk. He fights Hulk. He wins the fight, but doesn't kill him, obviously. So the Grandmaster like electrocutes the God of Thunder. Makes sense. And then he falls to the ground, and so Thor or Hulk wins. Later on, Thor shows Hulk the message sent from Natasha. So then he goes back to Banner, Bruce Banner, in fact. So then he goes back to being Banner, and Thor escapes the Grandmaster and he just goes away with Hulk, Thor himself, Loki, and Valkyrie. So then they go back to Asgard. They have to deal with Hela because she killed a bunch of their guards or whatever, like their whole army or whatever. So Heimdall's hiding all the civilians in the like mountains or whatever. But before that can happen, Thor goes to fight Hela. He doesn't win until she punches him, and then she's like, "What are you the god of again?" And then, by the way, he's lost an eye, so he can be like his dad. Nice. So she asks him what he's the god of, and then he gets flashbacks to his father, and then he thunder, and then this cool song plays, and then he like woo, and then he's like smacking with Mjolnir, and it's really cool. You should watch it if you haven't already, and if you haven't, what the fuck are you doing here? Or yeah, basically, unless you just want to listen to me talk about it, which is kind of weird. Rather not just watch the movie. I guess this is shorter. But I keep rambling, so let's get full in with it. So Thor realizes that he can't actually defeat Hela, so he's like, you know what? You know who can? This folder. And it's Surtur. How did he get there? He's like, you know what? I'm just gonna fall to Asgard. He throws the helmet thing I told you guys about into the eternal fire, and then he explodes from underneath Asgard's and like destroying all the buildings, but obviously the civilians are there. So Hela's stuck there, and Hulk wants to go fight the big monster, and he's all mad, and then he punches him, whatever, and then he gets away. So they end up on the ship, and they're gonna go and find a new place for Asgard to be, because Asgard's not a place, it's people. Yeah, not really, but yeah, sure. But this goes into Infinity War because it goes straight into it. Because the start of Infinity War, I'm gonna go straight into it. Starts with Loki and Thor and all the civilians of Asgard go to fight, or go and see this big ship, and you know whose ship it is? Thanos. Thanos just got the Power Stone from, what's it called? From Guardians of the Galaxy. The Nova Corps kills all them, gets the Power Stone, goes back, and finds the Tesseract that is with Loki. So Loki's like, oh, dude, hey, man, you want this? He, like, acts like he's gonna betray, Thor, and he says the sun will shine on us again, brother. He goes to give Thanos the Tesseract, and then he kills him. Psych, he gets stopped, and Thanos chokes him out, and he dies. You're like, how does Loki happen then? Loki happens because after that, Thanos gets all the stones, he snaps, Endgame, time travel happens. We go back to Avengers 2012. Loki was just defeated, and he's going down the elevator from the Avengers Tower. And he's all like, he's got the mouth thing on his mouth, so he can't talk or whatever. And he's handcuffed, but he can still like grab things. And you know, Tony kind of messed up, and so did Ant-Man and Hulk, and everything went bad. Because the Tesseract fell out of this folding container, because that's where it was in 2012. So they were going to get that and the Time Stone, because they were both there. But it didn't go well. So it fell out, and Loki's like, you know what? This is evil Loki, by the way. This isn't redeemed Loki, where he's like kind of friendly with his brother, and he's like being nice or whatever. this is evil Loki just folding, trying to defeat the Avengers. So he's got his hands here, and you know he goes down and he grabs the Tesseract off the ground, and says, "Peace." Space Stone, obviously, also. So he teleports out of there, and we don't know where he went. And that's where Loki comes in, and that's where it's going to start. It's getting close, and I'm recording this right before it's going to come out. And this is my fault. So if it comes out a little late, I'm really sorry. I'm going to get into theories and what's going to happen and what I believe is going to happen. And let's get right into that part. Alright, I'm sitting down because I can't do that any longer. So now we have Loki. Where do I think he's going to end up? We're going to recap some of the trailer footage, and we're going to go straight into it. So basically, I think it goes straight from Endgame. Loki teleports somewhere, and the TVA, which is the Time something Association or Administration or something like that, I don't fully know. They're trying to keep the timeline good. Nothing's like messed up. After he took the Time Stone, everything's messed up because when Cap returns the stones, when he returns the Tesseract back to when they got it, which was 1970, it would always be there in 1970. It's like they never took it. They bring it. It goes back to 2012. So 2012 will always happen. So the TVA is like, yo, you can't do that, Loki. So they find Loki. They take him back to their thing or whatever, and they have a bigger problem other than Loki, but they think he can help. So they bring him there. This is just my theory. What I've seen. Mobius, also Owen Wilson. If we don't get a folding, wow, I'm gonna be very upset. I kind of want it to be like, wow, he's arrogant or something like that. I'm not a good. I didn't think that was a very bad impression. I'm sorry, Owen Wilson. If you ever watch my video, probably not. But dreams, you know, they happen. So Mobius is an agent there. I guess he's new or something. Because he doesn't seem like he like fits in a lot. Because it's literally like the DMV. It's like, oh, you gotta sign all this, do these paperworks, and it's all like kind of like not retro. I don't know how I'd like older. I don't know. It's like weird, and it's got like this weird poster and this weird like mascot, and it's a folding clock. Miss Minutes is her name. Yeah, it's folding weird. But yeah, I really think from what I've seen is that we're gonna see multiple Lokis. We're gonna have the Loki from that timeline, and then we're gonna go to different timelines to fix what is happening and trying to stop this person who's trying to mess up the timeline. This person that I think is trying to mess up the timeline, I don't know who it's gonna be. There's an actor that their role hasn't been announced yet, so that will probably be their role. But there's also gonna probably be Lady Loki, which is pretty full cool. I think that's sick. Everyone in the trailer, there's this like girl there. I think it's Lady Loki, not Natasha. She does seem to have like red hair or whatever, but I don't think it's Natasha. I think it's Lady Loki. But there's King Loki, and then there's something else. He goes to Pompeii because you see in AD or 89 AD. I think that's when Pompeii happened. I don't really remember it. Sometime AD. And you see it folding explode, and Mobius like, come here, stop messing around, Loki. I keep doing an impression. I feel bad because I can't do impressions, especially with this voice. It doesn't really help, and I've been sneezing all through this recording. I'm gonna folding cut them all out. But yeah, go back to it. Yeah, he also is. Maybe he looks like this guy DB Cooper or Cooper DB Cooper, which was this guy who was in a plane or in a jet or whatever, and he stole this money and then he jumped out of the jet or plane or whatever, and I don't think he had a parachute, and he disappeared, and no one knew where he went. So I think they're gonna be like, yo, That wasn't DB Cooper. Or Cooper. Why do I keep saying Cooper? Cooper. That wasn't him. That was Loki. But I think they're going to explore all that. And we're already at green light for season 2 of Loki. That's fucking exciting. And I'm really excited for this. I think I'm going to be more excited for... I think I'm going to be more excited for this than I was Falcon Winter Soldier. It was good, but I like this more. WandaVision's alright. But yeah, I'm really excited for this. But that's pretty much it. Theories, people that could show up. Lady Sif, maybe. Maybe she, like, combines with another Loki and they become Lady Loki or something weird. There's a lot of stuff that happens in the comics that are weird. Also, there's the Timekeepers, and one of the Timekeepers could be Kang the Conqueror. Jonathan Majors plays him, is going to be playing him in Ant-Man and the Wasp and Quantumanium, which also that should be cool. I don't know how that'll go, but I'm excited to see Kang the Conqueror. If you don't know who that is, he is he messes with time, and he is evil, and he messes stuff up. That's basically all I know. So hopefully he's in there. I don't know. There could be also stuff like Mephisto, or Galactus, or whatever, or hints to Celestials, or hints to Thor, Love and Thunder. Loki might show up in there. I don't really know. I'm excited to see the show. I bet you are too. I'll let you guys get to that, and hopefully you guys enjoyed, and have a fantastic day. See you.